What's up? This is Proud from .p. Want to show you exactly what I'm doing on my favorite hero of all, the Lonely Fucking Druid. I've been playing him a good amount this patch, and he's changed pretty considerably. I feel like the best way to play him is actually to go like a hero focus build, like you just use your kind of like Windsoul and Han. As far as I'm aware, I don't fucking play Han. But use your bear mostly just for the utility, and you put most of your damage items on the hero himself. The fact that you can get this plus 65 damage at level 15 is actually just unreal. Most heroes, maybe they get plus 40 damage at 20 or something like that. Sven gets plus 65 damage at 25, so getting the 65 so early is actually just, it's fucking incredible. So you combine that, but then the minus 50-second respawn time, you respawn at like 30 seconds at level 25. And then you have also like plus 200 attack range, like you're basically a sniper. It's really fucking solid. So I've been playing that a lot. I've gotten 83% win rate with it right now at this patch. I've got about 650 Lone Druid games myself. And I've mostly done, even before this patch, kind of non-standard builds. I really didn't like Radiance. I win it a lot when Lone Druid came back with Savage War. But for the most part, before Savage War came back and for the last patch, I don't, like go Radiance builds or anything like that. So I like to do kind of different shit on the Druid. But I feel like this is actually just the best way to play him now. Mostly I've been, I pick Lone Druid and then I face, some standard counters because there's so many things that do counter Lone Druid. You get a Slar Dart to amp damage the bear, Sniper so your bear will never actually get to actually hitting the Sniper. Against a Drow, Frost Arrows will completely screw you. Even like an Earthshaker or a Venomancer, just so much AoE stun or slow that the bear will never actually connect on anything. So I just pick Lone Druid and then I get hit by these counters, and all of these counters actually don't match up that well against like a hero focus build. So it's pretty nice that I can pick something and have them think that they're countering me, and then I just build a way that they're not expecting, and then they just take a bunch of fucking little Reaper glaive things to the face. Alright, so I normally play this either safe or mid. Both are totally fine. The only difference between the two build-wise is if I'm mid, I will buy an extra branch. So I'll just show you the mid build now, and the only difference really... I change the build up a lot, but for the most part, if you do this, you'll be at least operating mostly the way I do. So you started out with just a Tango. Pooled Tangos are nice, but I spend so little gold and that I actually just don't really need the salve, and also Lone Druid has so much so little health. If you actually do get low enough that you do need to salve, you're probably just gonna die anyways. You can operate really far out of range of harass, so a Tango is with like the small incremental healing is actually normally kind of best case scenario. So I just start with one Tango, get the Quelling Blade, put it on my bear of course, and then get 2 Iron Branches. You're going to need one for the Helm of the Dawn we're going to build later, and we have an additional one just to have like a really long duration on one of our Tangos. One of the main reasons why that's so good is that when you look at the mid lane, this isn't exactly what mid lane is when you're actually in game, but it's fairly similar. You can be fighting around like this area, and if you do need to Tango in the middle of combat or something like that, or just you want to not have to walk back, and you don't want to like miss a last hit or a deny or something, you can just drop your tree down there and then take it, and then you won't need to like walk all the way back to eat a Tango around here. Whether or not the regen is actually worth the 50 gold or whatever, if you'd rather just have like more Tangos or something, that's kind of a non-factor. The fact is the availability of trees is non-existent in the mid lane unless you get an Iron Branch, so it's a little fucking helpful tip. There you go. Fairy Fire is also great. I've had so many times where just a stray Fairy Fire has saved my life on Druid. If you do die on this hero, it's normally just by the skin of your teeth. You have so many ways to kind of elongate your life. You can't dodge projectiles anymore, which is the stupidest fucking change I've ever seen in my life, but the bear, doing Orb of Venoms and Entangles and stuff, and you have Savage War. You can normally live through most stuff if you have a Fairy Fire. Okay, so that's your starting build. Notable change on the Druid this patch, the Quelling Blade giving 24 damage is actually huge for him. The old Quelling Blade didn't give nearly that much. This is basically like an 80% damage increase, whereas the last one was like 40. So effectively, what is this, 24? So that's like 59 damage. Plus, I can't actually see how much damage I have because I'm level 25 right now. But it's something like you have like 50 damage when you have Fairy Fire plus 2 branches on the Druid. So you have like, Jesus, like, what, 109 damage base now for last hitting. You have obviously less for denying, but it's still a shit ton. So you basically shouldn't miss any last hits with 109 fucking starting damage. Honestly, it's just so unreal. So he's way better in mid right now, and also his jungling is actually a bit faster because if you go Quelling Blight or Iron Talon, you're just better off because like honestly, this is such a good change for the Druid. Taking this 35 up to a 59 just with 200 gold is pretty fucking unreal. All right, so this is your starting build. You don't need to ferry a Sal for the most part because you have 4 Tangos plus a branch. And you want to use your first couple last hits to get your Orb of Venom as soon as possible. And again, you put that on the bear. Although this is a hero-focused build, until you do get the 65 damage, you're going to play like a pretty standard Druid. So you have a Quelling Blade and an Orb of Venom, so you can now harass the shit out of your opponents. Notably, every time you hit them with the bear, it's 35 damage, plus the 12. And if they're a really high armor target, the fact this is magic damage is nice. If not, you know, it's not a big deal either way. Alternatively, if you do really want to amp up the harass and your bear isn't getting a lot of good connections, you can put the orb on your Druid, and every time you hit, you know, you'll be doing whatever 50 some damage you do plus the Orb of Venom damage. So, little tip, so you want to be getting that Orb of Venom ticking on them at all times. A lot of Druids harass is very incremental between the bear hitting for 35 and Orb of Venom, and you hit for 50. You just want to slowly rack up that advantage. Okay, so once you're there, the next thing you want is you want to get a boot. Also on your bear, hero is pretty fast at a base. 325 move speed is really, really solid. It's one of the fastest in the games. And then once you have the bear with a nice speed on him, he'll be able to actually deliver these Orb of Venoms. You would be able to get phase boots. This is an old thing I used to do. I would just rush phase boots on the bear, not get a Quelling Blade or anything like that. I would just get phase Orb of Venom, and then you get that basically exactly at 5, and you just tear him down as soon as you get entangled. But boot Orb of Venom alone isn't too bad either. You'll still probably get them for the most part, get a kill at 5. A really key thing of playing Druid against anyone else is if they have a big level 6, like a Queen of Pain or an Ember Spirit or something like that, your big Power Spike comes at 5. So you can get this key kill up on them at 5, stop them from getting their level 6. And that's just, it's super solid if you can kill any mid at 5, especially when you have a big Power Spike yourself. It's a nice little interaction. So at this point, yeah, you should be about level 5. So you go first point and summon Spirit Bear, of course. Second point, you can get Savage Roar. You can kind of play it like an OD, where if they're about to get a last hit on a range creep or something, you just fear them away. It's really no mana cost to yourself, just your bear who has enough mana regen. It's not like even if he didn't have mana regen, it's not like your bear's gonna cast 6 fucking Savage Roars or whatever. So it's all good. Just need to make sure you don't get ganked immediately because it does have a pretty long cooldown. But in lane, if they're going for a last hit, just fear them away on either the bear or your hero. Either one's all good, and then you know, deny their range creep, whatever like that. Okay, so at this point you're level 3, you get a second point in Spirit Bear. At 4, you're gonna want another point in Rabid, and then at 5, another point in the Spirit Bear. Spirit Bear does focus on it has pseudo RNG, so you're gonna want to watch how many hits you're getting off. Once you've got about 4 or 5 hits on a creep without getting an entangle, you know you've got an entangle primed, so don't last it on your bear anymore. Just sit back on your hero and then try to hit them. Yeah, last hit on the hero, and then hit on the bear after hit on the bear, like only on the hero after you get 5 attacks. And let's see, like one more. Yes, the next one should be pretty close. 1, 2. Yeah, this is pretty bad luck, honestly. There you go. Yeah, 3 hits after 5, and you're good. Then of course just watch the cooldown. While the entangle is cooling down, there's 0% chance you're gonna get another entangle, so definitely use the bear to last it at that point. Okay, so once you're here, at this point, you got some basic kill potential, enough health on your bear, whatever. You're gonna hit 6. This is kind of a judgment call. If you want to be pushing the tower as soon as you hit 7, you can. If the enemy mid laner is like roaming around and stuff, you can get True Form, and then you can utilize your Battle Cry or War Cry, whatever it's called, to just kind of take the tower down as soon as possible. But for the most part, I get another point in Rabid because I'm going a very Druid-focused build. I'm not too interested in my True Form too early. I just want to get my Rabid maxed out and want to be farming as fast as possible. At 7, you can do the little entangle trick. Hold your point in your bear. As soon as you level up the bear, the bear will get a refresh on the entangle cooldown. So you can like fight someone, like fighting your Ember Spirit, lets you get an entangle, and then as soon as you get the entangle, you level up, and then the cooldown will refresh, you can get another entangle. It's pretty cool stuff. I used to not do it because I thought it was just like a stupid waste of time, but I've gotten a shit ton of kills that way. So just do it, and then they'll get really tilted. It's like 2 entangles in a row. How'd that happen? And then they'll be sad and you win. Okay, so after you have these really basic set of items, you're going to want to build a Hand of Midas as soon as possible. If you're mid lane, it's not too bad to buy the Glove of Haste first and just put it on your bear for more entangles. If you're safe lane, of course, you want to just buy the Hand of Midas recipe as fast as possible, get it sent out to you, and then you can buy buy the Midas at the side shop. Alright, so you've got this Midas now. Although you are playing Druid focused build, until you get that 65 damage, your hero doesn't really matter, so you're just going to put the Midas on the bear. Its attack speed, it's on its entangles, way more important than yours. Alright, next you're going to get a boot of speed for yourself, because you want to be catching up. And then you want to go for the Basi. Gives mana regen to you and the bear, which is not that important, but the fact is you both get 2 armor, and that's insanely good for pushing, and it basically takes care of all your mana issues. If you have any additional mana issues, there's also Raindrop is fantastic, especially if you're playing the squishy-ass Druid form, and then a Wand also works pretty well for you. If you have like the spare branch left over, you know, it's small investment, but you may want to just go straight for the Wand. You have a shit ton of slots on this hero, so you're going to be pretty okay with small items for a pretty long time. Alright, so after you get that, you're going to want to get your Blight Stone, and you put the Blight Stone on your bear. The bear is just as good at putting the Blight out as you are, and your hero is going to be trying to stay safe as much as possible. Maybe your bear will manage to get an Entangle. One of the great synergies between this hero and minus armor is Entangle is an absurd amount of damage early game. Yeah, it's 6 damage per second, I think, or 60 damage per second, and a hero duration of 3, so that's, 180 damage. And then you apply minus armor to it, because it is physical damage. Just really, really good. Minus armor on this hero is incredible. Last patch I was doing a shit ton of Deso stuff, and it was, honestly, like, you get an Entangle with a Deso at like, I don't know, 14, 16 minutes or something like that. They just melt. It's incredible. Okay, so you get that, and then the first thing you're going to get as like a real actual finished item besides the Midas is you're going to get Phase Boots. Phase Boots after you are just really good. Your heroes don't trip over each other. 24 damage, works with your minus armor, just lets you keep on top of everyone. It's pretty good stuff. Next, we're going to build a Helm of the Dominator, so we get our Headdress now. That gives enough regen for us and the bear. The bear is not going to have a stout shield. We're going to kind of save on that money that way. Notable, if you are in a 1v1 lane, safe lane, and it looks like you can reforce down your tower a lot, or maybe they'll be really good harassing your bear, you can get a stout shield on the bear at the side shop. But it's not too necessary as long as you play it well. A lot of times I'll find I'm resummoning my bear on cooldown, but that's not a big deal. You just, you know, if you saves you 200 gold, this hero buys so many small items, so anything you can cut out, make your build more lean is incredible. Okay, so you have the Headdress here, and a Basi, so you're pretty good at pushing. You and your bear have decent sustain going on now. You and your bear can both use shrines at the same time, so that's another way you can kind of increase the longevity there. And then next item, you're going to play the Druid focused. I've been switching between Shreds and Phase. I'm not entirely sure what I like most, but since we have the attack speed from Rabid built in, let's see, the bear with just these items has, what is this, 0.9 a second attack time, not too bad. Here is 25, so you can't really tell too much how much he would have at this point. Probably he's level like 10 or something. But he has decent attack speed just through the 40 from, what is this? Yeah, 40 from Rabid. And you just get another phase boot. Your move speed is incredible at this point. Between Rabid and every time you phase, you're pretty close to max move speed. It's really solid. Bear hits max move speed the second he hits phase. The new max move speed even with the 550. So it's super strong. And if you do want, you can get a Windlace about this point, and just for incredible move speed at all times. It's like 390 base. It's 487 base, and when you phase, you are at max move speed. So Windlace, another incredible item. You're just so fucking fast in this here. It's so good. Okay, so you've got double phase now, and both your units are pretty strong, pretty terrifying. At level 10, you've probably passed. You should get 200 attack range, and you probably aren't aren't level 15 quite yet. So you want to be preparing at this point. Just to get your Helm of the Dominator up. I think I missed a small item somewhere in here. But yeah, so you get the Helm of the Dominator here. We want our Glove of Haste, which exists right here. So you can dominate a creep, although it is a little bit difficult to do all this micro, but normally I'll just find a wolf, really basic, and just have it follow you. Or just when I'm pushing, you know, I'll control a catapult or even just a melee creep to make it tank the tower the whole way. There's a lot of ways you can use Helm of the Dominator. It's an absurdly strong item right now, and it's definitely going to get nerfed. But for now, the fact that you can get 10 attack speed on the hero. The hero has pretty weak stats in general. You gain 2.1 strength per level, but you're not really getting a lot to fill yourself out besides that. So getting these extra 6 stat attributes is pretty great. The attack speed is good. And the aura regen is incredible. I've mostly used this to replace Vlad's on these heroes, because the bear has really shit base damage, and the hero doesn't have that incredible base damage either. So the Vlad's isn't that great as far as damage increasing. The lifesteal is okay, but 8 regen is just about as good. And the fact that it's an aura attack speed, so my bear, even though my bear has very little to no items on him, it's still 0.8 attack speed between Rabid and the Dominator. Although we are playing Druid focused, we don't want to neglect our bear's attack speed. That's the main thing we don't want to lose. The Druid has way more damage, but the fact of the matter is that the bear scales absurdly well with attack speed just because of Entangle. And anytime you ulti, which you will get after you have Rabid maxed, or at 6 if you do need to. So let's say I ulti now, and my bear has let's like 150 damage just because I pressed D. This is honestly an absurd skill to play around. This is another reason why I like minus armor. Minus armor and AoE attack speed are the only stats that are going to help the damage on both you and your units. If a target has less armor, the Druid will do more damage to them through Battlecry, and the Bear, if either one of these units just has more plus damage, synergizes in no way with Battlecry. Battlecry is a 140 damage ability you can get like at level 6, absurdly strong. Let's see, what level am I now? So that's 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. All right, so hit 11, second point Savage Roar, 12, second point Druid form. And now, yeah, so it's 200 damage at level 12. Absurdly good. Building around this is great. If you do get an Entangle, just have both of your units next to them. Just press D, jam on them with Blightstone, and you all have bonus attack speed from the Dom and from Rabid. It's pretty strong. Definitely build around this skill as much as you can, and play around it with as much finesse as possible. And notable, you can go Druid form or Bear form, D. You can switch out super fast, and you've still got more than half duration on your Battlecry. You do have lower base attack time in true form though, so if you are just gonna see, it's 1.5 there as opposed to 1.7 the hero has base. So if you are gonna be able to just jam on someone who's stunned out, you'll get more damage in true form. If you're gonna just hit a tower that's not doing anything, you're not gonna be contested. True form's great. So one of the main things you need to know on playing this build is you need to know how to work between true form and Druid form. For the most part, gonna stay in Druid. But in true form, you will do a bit more damage and be tankier in exchange for all the range that you have and some move speed. All right, so we got the Dom, and the first big damage item we're gonna get is a Maelstrom. You do a shit ton of. You have like a bunch of attack speed on this hero, and his auto attack is kind of a blank canvas. You have a bunch of attack speed. You have a bunch of attack speed base. And the Maelstrom, although it does look like a 25 attack speed, 24 damage, maybe it's mostly an attack speed item. If you average it out, even just on single target, Maelstrom, the proc adds another, I think 26 damage, 25, something like that. So it's basically like a 50 damage, 25 attack speed item, if you want to look at it like a really, really basic sense. And once you get some decent attack speed, yeah, he just tosses pretty fast. And the lightning procs kind of fill out all your damage in a team fight. Really, all you need to do is make sure you're getting attacks out, and your lightning bounces will do a lot of the work in a team fight for you. One of the Druid's main issues is that he doesn't really add too much to your like kind of body of damage when you're team fighting. But once you have this Maelstrom, you're running for max range. It's basically like a sniper. You're just going to get a shit ton of damage bouncing around. All right, so after you get that, you're just going to go for the Mjolnir. There's obvious synergy between having the Mjolnir, putting the lightning shield on your bear, or putting lightning shield on yourself when you're in true form, or anyone else. And you can send the bear down a wave to farm, and you can farm jungle yourself. Any kind of shit like that is really strong with this hero, and it's just more lightning bounces, and just a really fucking strong item right now. So we go that direction. Next is something that I'm not entirely sure if I'm a big fan of. But next, I normally put the Blightstone on my hero, and I buy a Desolator for myself. As I said before, minus armor is still really good with this hero. The fact is, it doesn't synergize with the Mjolnir at all. The Mjolnir, it has a bunch of attack speed and damage, but it's like magic damage, so it just doesn't synergize with the minus armor. But I think minus armor is just so good on this hero, and having the Maelstrom is so good for just helping your farm speed, that it is pretty fun to go both these items. Although there's no direct synergy between the two, they both do synergize with the hero in a vacuum, like separate from each other. So I'm looking for a way to make this a bit better. Maybe just going Deso first and not going the Mjolnir. Maybe Deso will help me farm fast enough, and it won't matter. My AoE team fight damage might not matter depending on team comp. But for now, I would say in general, getting both these items is totally okay. And then also really cool thing with this hero, Deso and Blightstone don't stack, but once you get the Deso on the hero, you can go over to your bear and get another Blightstone. and you now have -9 armor between your 2 units. So your Entangle is still scaling, even at this point in the game. You're probably, let's see, this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and now when you're 15, you now have plus 65 damage. So you should have about 200 damage at this point in the game. You hit hard as shit. You have -9 armor between your 2 units. You have a ton of attack speed, even though I'm level 25 right now. It'll probably be about 0.6 or 0.7. The only extra attack speed I'm getting right now is just my stat gain, which is, what is this, 2.7? Yeah, 2.7. So not too incredible. So the next item we're going to get is a Lone Druid Classic. You're going to get the AC. Normally you'd want to keep this on your bear because he needs the armor, but you can just keep it on your Druid at this point. Maybe put your Basi on the hero and put your Basi on, or AC on the hero, Basi on the bear. And if you look, the bear has a nice set of items here. If you do need detection, one big thing is cores often can't carry detection because they're just too slot starved. But if you get it on the bear, just swap out your this is a Quelling Blade, that's what this item calls. Swap out your Quelling Blade, and now you have Dust on the bear. And TPs, you don't need to keep them on the bear, but you can, have TPs on your hero. So you have an item in base, move it onto your bear, swap the bear. Bear TPs home, gets your items, and then comes back to your hero. It's great stuff. A lot of stuff you can do with the backpack and inventory and general shit with the bear. Okay, yeah, and the bear also you don't need. So I used to like, let's say I wanted to get an item with my bear, like an AC, 2 parts of an AC. I'd have to like move 2 items here, but my hero like didn't have room, so I'd have to just like drop stupid shit on the ground, and everything sucked, and I hated this hero. But now you can just 2p the bear back to base. It'll have open slots, and then you can just put whatever in here. So it's a lot easier, a lot less time consuming now. Okay, that's great. All these things just went away. All right, so we got the AC. Next on our list is, we can just kind of take it from here. You kind of have an open slot or 2 left on the hero. Dom, you can move to the bear. It'll still be giving you the regen and attack speed. But this is where you kind of take it by however you want to. One thing that I do really like is just getting a casual basher and just putting it on the bear. Just kind of filling out his lockdown suite a bit more. At this point, when you have AC and Dom, the bear has, 0.7, and that's pretty solid. So you're going to get between a Tango and Basher, anyone who's a BKB target, you'll still be able to get them down pretty easily. A lot of good options for the Druid. I used to be experimenting with Skadi on the hero, but I found for you to get lockdown from your auto attacks, it's actually better to just have a Tango plus Basher on the bear, save yourself some money. If you do want general like tankiness, and aggression at the same time, instead of Skadi, consider a Butterfly. Put the Butterfly on the hero. Butterfly, of course, if you're sprinting around, if you just press S ever and have Rabid up, yeah, incredible move speed. The evasion's pretty great. You're not really going Radiance, so evasion's not going to get countered by whatever MKB they incidentally buy. At level 20, you're going to want to get the -50 respawn time. Even at level 25, I'll show you just respawn as fast as shit. Okay, that's not a fountain. This is a fountain. Here we go. I have evasion, so I'm very tanky. Please bear with me. Yeah, level 25. I'm pretty sure that I just respawn fast because this is a demo mode. Anyway, that was really fun. I'm glad that you got to see that. That was completely worthless. Anyway, yeah, so you can go Butterfly is one option. If you just need to be tankier, Satanic is fantastic. It has 50 damage on it now, which is a shit ton. 25 strength is good. Satanic is a lot less of a survivability item and a lot more of a damage item. Instead of having, 25 damage or 20 it had before, now it has 50. 50 is a big fucking number. I'm not sure if anyone's aware of that, but 50 is a big one. So 50 is great. Gives you that kind of scaling regen, because eventually your Helm of the Dominator is going to be falling off a bit. Yeah, so let's say there's one game where I had both of these, and I put the Dominator on my bear. So I still have a bunch of attack speed on my hero. Also, at your level 25, you can kind of pick either. If you have a lot of people with BKBs you're against, the Entangle duration is great. If you have a lot of people who are just going to try to get up in your shit and not building BKBs, Savage Roar cooldown is great. I normally go the cooldown on Savage Roar. I know statistically, if you look, the Entangle duration is better. But I'm not paying too much attention to what, the Dota buff stats on something that are aggregating, like, 2K games, and people have no idea how the fuck to play Lone Druid. Like, looking at the stats on what's good on Druid is normally not a good idea, especially just any hero that you need to be like a specific player, like a Meepo player or a Lone Druid player or whatever, to actually know what you're doing. The stats aren't the greatest thing to come by because a lot of the stats are going to be embellished by people who are 2K and they random the hero on whatever they do. Yeah, so I mostly get that. Yeah, so then it's just kind of finer tunings with your items, that sort of thing. You can keep your Midas for a really long time on Lone Druid, which is fantastic. Sorry, he didn't even. Yeah, so let's see what this guy's attack speed is when I have the Dom. Yeah, what is this shit? Alright, this is the worst. There we go. Yeah, still 0.7, whatever. I love it. Okay, yeah, and then other items. Skadi is good. I find myself going Bloodthorn on almost every hero this patch. Bloodthorn is just absurdly good. Item is not allowed for this hero. I don't think that's the case. I think I just didn't have slots. Let's try to bail that one again. Here we go. Cool. Alright, so yeah, let's say you don't want your AC anymore. Put your AC on the bear. You still get a lot of the attack speed. Swap it out for, let's say, the Basi or something like that. And yeah, there's just a lot of cool stuff you can do with these aura items. Let's say you want MKB on your hero. Swap Deso out for MKB. Put Deso on the bear. Bear does not have room for Deso. And however that just happened. Put Deso on the bear. Put Deso on the bear. Great. Now the bear has Deso. Oh, you already had Deso. Alright, anyways. Yeah, so that's how I've been playing Lone Druid. A lot of items, a lot of small items moving around. As many auras as I can kind of stack early game. And I play it mostly bear focused until I'm level 15. And then it goes into this wild ass motherfucker that just does crazy shit and kills everyone. Like, this fucking attack speed is incredible. I love this hero. I know you're just like, oh, you're just 6 slotted or whatever. Like, no, this is just how it works. It's great, man. Play this hero. He's so fun. And the attack speed, or the attack range is awesome. You can go Hurricane Pike on this hero if you want. I don't think it's that great. I feel like he has enough range on his own, and he has enough move speed and the fear on his own that the Hurricane Pike isn't totally necessary. But the main thing I would say for playing Druid is you need to get to your Maelstrom. Like, that's what really turns you into like a monster. If as soon as you hit 15 with Maelstrom, that's when you want to fight. Also, go phase boots on the bear. Don't do this this brown boot bullshit on the bear. Like, that's just it. I so fucking tired of seeing it. I see bears trip over creeps dicks all the time. Just get Jesus. Just get phase boots. It's so good. Use the Dom. Control a wolf. Just keep it next to you. Your bear and your unit will get the 30% damage aura and shit like that. Really strong. Alright, so that's Druid. People have been asking me what I've been doing. This is what I've been doing. Max Bear, 1 point in Roar. Max Rabid, get a point in True Form at 6 if you feel like you're going to need it. Otherwise, just get it after you've got Bear maxed, Rabid maxed, and 1 point in Roar. You want to get your Basi to take care of your mana regen. Buy a Raindrop or a Windlace or a Wand as you see fit. And remember to get the Blight Stone, and you want to get your Midas as soon as possible. So you can keep it for an absurdly long time. It's good shit. Bear also scales really well late game now if you play it this way. Your bear's not just going to like die immediately. And the minus 50 respawn time is incredible. And once you get the Deso, you can backdoor tier 4s. And an Ancient, which I've done several times. Alright, that's it. Goodbye.